You know, the most important part of any relationship is honesty. So I feel that I should be honest and admit something about myself. I want you guys to know that I'm the kind of guy who has been known to drive 3 hours out of the way to see the world's largest ball of twine. It's in Cocker City, Kansas, and man, I've been there 3 times. I'm the sort of person who's been known to drive 5 hours out of the way and be late for a gig because I heard about some crazy old cat who's dedicated most of his life to stacking up rusted out, beat up old automobiles into a formation that loosely, sorta, kinda resembles Stonehenge. It's called Carhenge. It's in Alliance, Nebraska, and man, it is a thing of beauty. So if you're the sort of person who could appreciate that sort of thing, there's a good possibility we could be friends. If you're the sort of person who really digs that kind of thing, we might end up in a car together at some point. So consider this your warning. But I'm going to leave you guys with this song that I wrote. It's my love letter to the strange and wonderful things that you find alongside the road in the United States. There's a statue of a chicken in a muffin and Mohican I've been chasing after most of my life. And a two-headed cow and an abandoned town with the world's largest ball of twine. I hear the locals talk about a mystery spot, so all I wanna do is drive straight through the heart of the States just to see what awaits on the great American roadside. I saw a whale in Catoosa, a spring giant in Paducah. That was interesting. Walked through the Garden of Eden in Lucas, Kansas, even saw the world's largest hand-dug well. The sign says Lincoln slept here, you know I'll be there. 'Cause all I wanna do is drive straight through the heart of the States just to see what awaits on the great American roadside. If you see me striking what appears to be a folk god type pose, I will actually be reading the lyrics to the next verse. If there's a roadside diner between here and Salina, I'll be sitting at the counter tonight. There's a cook in the back with a cigarette hack who's been serving up the food I buy. The waitress is hot, but the coffee is not. She says she dreams of hitching a ride straight through the heart of the States just to see what awaits on the great American roadside. I've seen the Cadillac Ranch and giant elephants and even Santa Ana's Lake. I stood at Vensta's house and on the Cahokia Mounds saw a giant peanut statue in Plains. I seen a hole in the rock and bathed a blue ox across the continental divide, straight through the heart of the States just to see what awaits on the great American roadside. So when I get back to Indiana, my buddies are gonna ask me, Otis, how did that tour go with Todd Snider? I said, man, it went great. I said, well, how was it? Tell me about it. I said, man, Todd surrounds himself with some of the nicest damn people. Just really, really good people, and I think that says a lot about him as a person. And they treated me wonderfully. My buddies will say, really? I said, yeah, they were wonderful. So, well, what kind of things did you see? I said, man, I went to Olive Hill, Kentucky, and I stood in the cemetery where Tom T. Hall once worked as a grave digger. It's where he wrote that song about trouble is the fella owes me $40. And I went on to Knoxville and I visited the hotel where Andrew Johnson Hotel. It's where Hank Williams slept in the bed for the very last time before he began that drive that ended his life. And my buddies will say, did you see anything else? I say, man, I went down to Crab Creek, North Carolina. That's the truth, I shit you not. You know a guy's telling you the truth from Indiana when he says, I shit you not. So I went to Crab Creek, North Carolina, and I visited the graves of the McCrary twins. That's in two world's largest twins that you saw on the back cover of Guinness Book of World Records riding mini bikes. You guys know who I'm talking about. Paid my respects. We went down to a place called Saxapaha. And my buddies would be like, where? And I say, exactly. Played a great gig in Saxapaha, played in Boston, Philly. We played a whole bunch of places, but then one day I find myself in this place called Burlington. I had one of the best damn cups of coffee I ever had in my life in a place called Muddy Waters. We visited the world's largest file cabinet. Damnedest thing I ever seen. We saw a statue of Champy down by the water's edge. It's beautiful. And I'll tell you what, we met some of the nicest damn people. People came out to the show and they were nice enough to pretend that they were enjoying what they were witnessing. My buddies would say, well, they're really nice. I say, man, they were really nice. My buddies would say, well, how nice were they? I say, man, they were so nice that every single one of them bought my record. I shit you not. All right, I got one more verse and I'm going to take it home. Thank you guys for being very nice. I've been to Monument Valley and Gasoline Alley, Big Bend and the Kokomo Stone, Cayenne, Jenna Lights, Bug Tower in Defiance, Graceland 2, Water Towers and Trucks, the Grotto of the Redemption, Coral Castle didn't mention, mountains, mazes and lights, straight through the heart of the States just to see what awaits on the great American roadside. Straight through the heart of the States just to see what awaits on the great American roadside.